Hello, Trinity family. Welcome to Hymns of Hope. My name is Deb Nielsen, and this week we're going to take a look at a beloved hymn that many of us have probably sung hundreds of times. We probably have much of the verses memorized. But do you know what the meaning is behind the hymn Amazing Grace? From Ephesians 1:7, in him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins, according to the riches of his grace. It's hard to shake off a mother's influence. John Newton's earliest memories were of his godly mother, who, despite fragile health, devoted herself to nurturing his soul. At her knee, he memorized Bible passages and hymns. Though she died when he was about 7 years old, he later recalled her tearful prayers for him. After her death, John Newton went to boarding school, and at the age of 11, he began a life as a seaman on his father's ship. Eventually, he engaged in the despicable practice of capturing natives from West Africa to be sold as slaves to markets around the world. But one day, the grace of God put fear into his heart, and this wicked slave trader, through a fierce storm, begged God for mercy. Greatly alarmed and fearful of a shipwreck, John Newton began to read the book, The Imitation of Christ. And he used this book to lead him to a genuine conversion and a dramatic change in his way of life. Feeling a definite call for the ministry, John Newton was encouraged and greatly influenced by John and Charles Wesley, two great hymn writers. At the age of 39, John Newton became an ordained minister of the Anglican Church in a little village near Cambridge, England. To add further impact to his powerful preaching, John Newton introduced simple, heartfelt hymns rather than the usual psalms in his services. When he ran out of hymns to sing, he began to write his own hymns. And assisted by his close friend William Cowper, they published their famous Almy hymns hymnal. An Amazing Grace was one from that collection. Until the time of his death at the age of 82, John Newton never ceased to marvel at the grace of God that transformed him so completely. Shortly before his death, he is quoted as proclaiming with a loud voice during a message, "My memory is nearly gone, but I remember two things, that I'm a great sinner and that Christ is a great Savior." What amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, am blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and snares I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord is promised good to me, his word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. And as we're in this week after Easter, God's grace has saved us. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son that we might have everlasting life. It's God's grace that helps us through the days of self-isolation and social distancing. Today, I'm going to include with this post a YouTube video of the famous opera singer Andre Bocelli singing Amazing Grace. On Easter Sunday, Bocelli put out a concert that he said was to bring a message of love, healing, and hope to the world amidst this global pandemic. And you will see the beautiful cities of Europe, Milan and London and Paris and New York City, how the streets are empty right now. as Andrew Bocelli sings Amazing Grace. So until next week, God be with you.